It is the Sports Lounge. Here's number 226. David Schottenkirk here. Charlie Hildebrand here. Nathan Stacken at a birthing class, I believe is what the official designation is. Birthing class for Stacken. What are we? About halfway through this almost. March, April, May, June, July. I'm almost halfway through this pregnancy, so that's good. We'll get into the baseball. Charlie, what do you make of Stacken's somewhat, he seems to be nervous. He's nervous at everything, but he seems to be nervous at this kid. When he's on next, we'll ask him what he's nervous about. But before that, what would you guess is his nervousness of being responsible for the life of a person, for Christ's sake, from birth on?
I feel like he's nervous that the kid will be born and within the first week or so magically be able to talk and walk around and will imitate LeVar Ball exactly. That's what the Stacken's greatest fear right now, is that the kid will walk around doing the LeVar Ball first take strut everywhere he goes, and that Stacken just won't be able to handle it.
Schottenkirk, how will Stacken do as a father?
I think he'll do just fine because he seems to be taking it so deadly seriously already once before the actual birth. So I think he'll be all right. And I guess I don't know, but his wife seems to be good enough where she can fill in the gaps with her.
There you go. If need be, maybe the Stacken wife can maybe make a trade at the trade deadline for something. Trade deadline at the end of the year. Trade deadline for baseball is tomorrow. So we are approximately 27 hours away from a trade deadline. The biggest piece out there, two of the biggest pieces, pitchers. Not much in the way of hitters this year. We're talking the pitchers. Yu Darvish seems to be possibly on the block. And Sonny Gray as well seems to be likely to be traded the next day. Mr. Schottenkirk, Sonny Gray, where do you expect him to land, if at all?
I guess the theme right now, or the thought, is that New York, the Yankees are going to make a move, and it might be their guy. I don't want to get too far ahead, but I think the Yankees are in a pretty good spot in the AL right now. I know Houston's out there way ahead. Nobody's going to catch them with the best record, but it comes down to 7-game series with the bullpen and sort of pitching. They can get a little bit more. They might be something to deal with. But yeah, Sonny Gray, the Yankees makes the most sense. I could see a week ago people were talking about the Brewers making a move for him, but I'm not quite sure the Brewers are in that spot where they want to. Even though it probably would be a good addition, but I'm not sure that management thinks that they can make a run this year. And to be honest with you, I don't know the impact that he's going to have. If he goes to the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, yeah, he's been better recently. It's a guy I've never got a good pulse on. When I start thinking that he's shit again, he comes back and proves me wrong for a month in a row. But inconsistently consistent is the phrase I use for him.
Do you have a new phone?
I do.
It looks like it. Quality technical upgrades. HD almost. HD.
Is it that good?
It is very good.
Maybe it's just the lighting, I think.
Charlie, your summation here of Schottenkirk's new technology.
It looks clearer and crisper.
It's like a nice.
Well, that's good. Well, that's good to know because I'll be in this spot. My lights are off. I have the window
goddamn.
open. Yeah.
Some natural light. There we go. Charlie, Yu Darvish, Asian pitcher.
I know who you're referring to.
Free agent. How could this possibly affect? I'm sure the Rangers would like to sign him next year. How would trading him potentially affect him or any other player? The Twins have maybe a guy they could trade and then sign in the offseason. Does that affect that at all?
I mean, maybe. We'll see in the next 27 hours, or we'll see part of it. I don't know. It's a good question. I wish I could give you a better answer.
Well, how about this?
I know he's a good pitcher, or at least he was. I don't know this year if he's doing fantastic or not. But yeah, I know he's been good. So he'd be a guy you would want as an asset because he's good at pitching, and pitching's important.
Go to the Twins here. What do you think of them trading for a pitcher at the beginning of the week and then trading said pitcher at the end of the week? I think they traded for him like on a Monday, and they trade him on Sunday morning. Regardless of who they got for him, we'll delve into that here at another time. Trading for a pitcher of some quality and then trading that pitcher away 6 days later.
I absolutely love it, to be honest. I wasn't a gigantic fan when they got him. I wasn't quite sure that if they truly thought they were in it, then I'm not sure that Garcia was the guy to say, hey, we're going for it. And they, just the way the week broke down, getting swept in Los Angeles, Cleveland and Kansas City staying hot, falling back, under 500. It's losing last night in horrific fashion. His value officially well on Friday. His value decreased, probably increased a little bit. It's new management, and I don't think the old management team would have trade a guy us the way we got for acquiring him. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I like the uniqueness of it. I don't know specific individuals involved. Do you feel like the guy they traded said player for in the end was better than what they got to get him in the first place?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got two guys.
It's fun. It's basically, it's almost like olden days stuff where they're like, oh, you want this horse? I don't have money, but here's a wheel of cheese instead. And they just find the right people to trade with to keep getting better and better stuff. And I think you have to respect that.
We interrupt this Twins talk for a trade that has happened in the past.
Chris Sale back to my White Sox finally.
Yes, Chris Sale to the White Sox. David Tronkirk, have you seen it?
Scale of 1 to 10, how big is this move? I haven't seen it.
Oh, how big is it? I would say it's a 6.
Okay.
The Royals have made a trade. The Royals have made a trade.
Uh-oh.
They've traded for Melky Cabrera, outfielder for Chicago. Good hitter.
My White Sox aren't going to have any players left come Tuesday.
They're
going to be signing guys from the Sioux City Explorers to fill out the roster for the rest of the year.
What if I told you that the White Sox also traded for Tebow to start him in left field tomorrow?
I would be disappointed.
You'd be disappointed. Cabrera to Kansas City. Where does he fit into this outfield here? You got Alex Gordon out there. You got Lorenzo Cain. Let's see what else they got out there. How does he fit in to the deal here?
Well, Alex Gordon's been atrocious this year, so I don't think that would be a huge rocket. They just try to slot him in. I know Gordon's been there forever, and a lot of varying opinions or whatever, but I don't see Gordon being there more through the end of the season.
Just signed that new contract worth a bunch of money. That's not great. Jorge Bonifacio, rookie's been good for them. So I'm interested to see where Melky Cabrera fits in for Kansas City. Drew Ahman, rest in peace. What are you on board here with Kansas City? First month of the season, you can make the argument they were the worst team in baseball, by far the worst offensive team in baseball. Since then, since June 1st, they've been the best team in the American League outside of Houston. Everything's going right for Kansas City. Got a bunch of upcoming free agents, and they're obviously in the mix to win the goddamn division, let alone the wild card. Are you buying in? They've made some moves here to help the pitching staff, and now this move here at noon. You think they're making that wild card?
At this exact moment, yeah, but I'm not thoroughly convinced. I mean, they've been playing really well recently, obviously, but it's still, there are holes in that team, and it's not a shoe-in by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, if they can figure out how to keep getting consistent starting pitching and the offense do a little bit more like it has been the last 2 or 3 weeks, they'll be in good shape. But for me, under the radar move so far, they got Trevor Cahill and a couple of pieces from the Padres a week ago. And I think at this point, that might be the most kind of under the radar important trade that's been made, because they another starter. I can't. The name's not coming to me. The numbers aren't great.
Brandon Maurer.
Yes, yep. That's where I was going. Very solvable, piece to add to what they already had. I mean, if 1 in 10 chances they get in, I'm probably sitting at like a 5.5 or 6. But certainly after their first month, it's been a hell of a turnaround.
Charlie, we'll use you again to be as Mr. Traxler from the Mitchell paper. Joins us. He's live from Kansas City as they continue to bring in folks from the South Side. Charlie, will continue to use Charlie to act as the voice for those who are not here. What do you, Charlie? What do you make of Amon's disdain for Kansas City? He hates the Royals as much as anything.
I find it interesting. I think maybe he's a bit jealous that they found a way to somehow win a World Series and his Twins haven't won it in the last
26
years, however long. And also, I think that's part of it, and also Drew's obviously an advanced analytics guy. I don't know the ins and outs of the Royals roster, but saying we're going to be terrible on offense and then just try to have relief pitchers win games for us is probably not the shining model of advanced analytics, so he probably doesn't enjoy that either. Those are speculations on my part. Might be wrong. I don't know. That's my guess.
Marcus Traxler, same question to you. Amon, he hates them.
And also they're in the same division as the Twins, so that's part of it too.
Yeah, I would piggyback off a lot of what Charlie said. I mean, a lot of what the Royals have done is sort of
against the grain
to what you'd think they would be doing. They seem to be heading for some sort of free agency crisis, and it doesn't seem to affect the decision making at all. They seem to want to go for it, and it's annoying. But I'm willing to wait it out because it probably means that they're going to be terrible here not too long, like the Royals should be.
Hopefully. I hope so.
It's just salt in the wound for him, too, that his least favorite team and his least favorite player, Mike Moustakas, is having just a gigantic year.
He is.
That's going to be my favorite thing on Hot Stove in December and January. Whenever he signs a deal somewhere, Drew just shitting all over how much money he's going to get.
I asked this a while ago in the chat, didn't get an answer, and because there is no answer, I think Stacken could bullshit his way through this. The hot stove is the hot stove. So what's now? What do we call now, Marcus? What's trade deadline? Any appliance relation to this? The refrigerator, the microwave. Maybe it's called the microwave. A quick, easy fix. I propose that.
I would say maybe if we're talking about an appliance, maybe the toaster.
The toaster.
Because, you pop it in there. Sometimes this comes basically out of nowhere, and you punch something in, and something pops out, and then you don't usually use the toaster once, right? So the toaster is getting used a lot with all these trades. So that'd be my best guess for something as stupid as that would be.
Well, they call it the hot stove because it's like that baseball's kind of on the back burner, and they're just trying to keep the stuff. So I would say the trade deadline is the AC or the ice box where everything's heating up so hot, and everyone's like, hey, trade, we're going to win the World Series now. And he's like, hey, icebox AC, maybe you'll be better and you'll make the wild card. You're not going to the World Series this year, Royals.
Or if you're shitty, you hit the ice box and you trade all your guys because you realize, we're going to be bad for the next 4 years. So it's a cool blast of reality.
Officially dubbed right now the Chicago White Sox cooler because that's where they're going to be for a while.
That's right.
Going back to this Twins trade before Kansas City interrupted us and made another trade. Jaime Garcia leaves. Double-A right-hander called Zach Little we'll go with. And a Triple-A guy named Dietrich Ennis, or Enns. That's who we got here. So essentially they trade this Dominican 19-year-old at the beginning of the week for these two folks here. Schottenkirk said he liked the move. I'm good with the move. Positives are that, like Schottenkirk said, the old administration probably wouldn't have pivoted this quick to trade at the beginning of the week and to trade him away at the end of the week because they lost 4 in a row while everybody else was winning 8 in a row. So it's good there. But then bad that, well, contention came down to 3 games at the end of July, whether they're in the race or out of the race, whether they're 2 games back or fucking 4 or 5 games back. So in the end, they get these 2 guys. Marcus, expectations here. Brandon Kinsler, I would say, is the most likely to get traded. Do you expect any more moves in the next day?
I would think that they'll try to make one. I seem to agree with the absent Drew Almond that I think Irv Santana is probably more likely off-season guy now at this point, given that his
stock
market, if you will, his stock is fairly low especially compared to where it was a month ago. So I would agree. Kinsler, I mean, it's kind of shitty that they're going to have to trade their best bullpen guy to get other guys, but at this point, I mean, that's kind of what you have to do. I'm okay with these trades. I think fairly realistic, maybe among the most realistic here. That I just don't think this is a playoff team, even if you sneak backdoor into the wild card. So try to make some hay on the trades now, and I'm fine with that.
Charlie.
Yes. I'd like to say I think the Jaime Garcia trade is good and also hilarious. I mean, I love the fact that they trade a guy they got 5 days ago. He makes 1 start. It's fine. And they're like, yep, we can move you, so we're going to. And, I wish they maybe would have been smart enough to say, hey, we're playing the Dodgers for 3 games. We're probably not going to win many of those and kind of project where you're going to be. I don't know if that affects whether or not you make the trade or not, but I'm glad they, like you said, this regime was wise enough to make a move and then double back if they had to. I think it's fun.
Rent, don't buy.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Let one of they should have won at least one of those Dodger games. They let it go away in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Had a chance to win another, but as goes the Twins season. Charlie, what I mentioned this earlier this morning, but do you find the frustration? You're not a Twins fan, you're a White Sox fan.
Frustration levels high in South Side of Chicago also.
Well, how about this? Because the Twins, they come across as a small market bullshit team, which is fine, which is what they are. And they can never make moves. Like if they need a pitcher, they just don't go out and get a pitcher. And if they do, it's Ricky Nolasco, or it's which didn't work, or they get Irv Santana, which has worked fantastically. So the frustration level of a Twins fan, speaking from as a non-Twins fan, of following a team that, like, their bullpen needs help, but they're not doing anything to help the bullpen. Their idea of helping the team is getting Fat Bartolo. That's their idea of helping the team.
So basically you want to know what it's like, thoughts on when it's time to make a move, they're not aggressive. And they're just like, well, we'll just punt this and we'll see if we can just get lucky and some guy in Double-A will turn out to be great.
Your car needs new tires, so to help that, you're going to give it a nice wash. It looks better, doesn't really help the tires. We need help with the tires.
As you guys will be shocked to hear, am a football fan, so whenever I can think of analogies, I usually run it through my head in football first. But I always think it's sort of like when a team in football has a really, really bad offense because their offensive line's terrible. And it's like, oh, so are you going to get
a receiver,
offensive lineman to help out? Or even if you get like a tight end, to make quick passes, and it's like, so what are your first 2 picks? Safety and linebacker. Yeah. It's like, that doesn't help. Not out at all.
No.
I was going to say the Cleveland Browns model, but it seems like maybe the Browns are at least being not completely stupid the last couple of years. See how it plays out on the field. We'll call it the Miami Dolphins route because they're dumb. But yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It's frustrating when teams... It's like they're always saying, no, we need to be safe and we need to look 5 years down the road, which I think that's good and you want to do that. But there's times where you need to be like, okay, now's the move. Let's quit bleeding players and hanging around 500 at least attempt to do something at some point, as opposed to just kind of like, oh, I don't know. We had these guys, and then they got old and retired, and their contracts ran out. And we made the wild card twice in 8 years, so weren't all that great.
But
At least that's the sense I have with some. I would imagine if you're a Twins fan or in any other sport where they're like, no, we need to play this safe. That's the frustration and the ultimate fear and worry with never trying to do stuff.
I think the frustrating part, if you're a Twins fan, is that the problem with the pitching is not new. I think if you go back, 5 or 6 years, their bullpen was fairly solid. Maybe you have to go back a little further, but starting rotation has always been an issue, and it just seems like it doesn't really matter who's in charge; they're not addressing it. Now, I think it's fairly early. You can give these new guys a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there, but you just have to address that. And I realize pitching isn't cheap. That's basically the number one rule of
nothing is
baseball
cheap.
Transactions, but that's something they gotta take care of going forward. I'm fine with them not being buyers, but I think you have to be willing to flip some guys to give yourself a chance down the line. And I saw somebody say, that the Garcia move, and basically lamenting the fact that they're a small market team. I don't think it's necessarily has much to do with that. I think it's more the fact that you have a chance to move a guy for a little bit more than what you just got, and maybe get a guy from the Yankees that maybe will be decent. Who knows? But I don't think the fact that they're a small market team had anything to do with this particular situation. I think if we get to hot stove season and the Twins aren't doing anything to address their pitching, I think you can lament the fact that they're a small market team much more so than you could in the late July about a trade they make.
So you can give Joe Mauer $200 million, but they're a small market team.
Right, exactly. I don't. To me, those two things don't go together. We've hashed out the Mauer thing over and over and over and over and over again. I think they were kind of in a tough spot there, but I think it worked out. I realized it was too much money, but I digress.
And they're going to give, I'm sure, Sano, he's going to get huge contract here in a couple of years, and hopefully Buxton's good enough to where he can get a big contract, and you're going to want to keep those guys. So Mauer can get $200 million, but if we're signing a free agent, we're not really going over $50 million for anything right there.
And if Joe Mauer wasn't from St. Paul, they wouldn't have paid him the money they did.
No.
So that's all there is to it.
They'll try and keep a couple of their own guys, more than likely to let them walk, like a Hunter or Kadire. If they can try and trade a Santana, they'll do that and get hosed on a trade. But yeah, they won't sign anybody outside of the organization for whatever reason, and we'll see if it changes here with some new people in charge. Twins have been having a good year, 500 team right now. Would have been interesting to see if they actually would have signed some guys in the bullpen, what they actually could have done if their bullpen was maybe just slightly below average instead of awful. So that would have been fun to maybe see if they're a couple games better, if that would have happened. Speaking of the offseason already, since they appear to be ready for the offseason, Shattenkirk, your expectations, because they need to address the pitching here, starters and bullpen. Do you expect them to do this, or are we going to be talking about the same shit again next year at this time, to where that they didn't sign anybody, and Irv Santana's in the last year of his deal, and he's getting traded next year, and you don't have anybody?
They're third. They've allowed the third most runs in Major League Baseball as of today.
It's a lot.
Baltimore and Cincinnati, the two teams that have given up more runs. It's obviously a gigantic issue, and there are fixes in the minors that they could potentially go the route of. But I would be, with the new management, I think they have to make a splash, if not two. And I think they know it. I think they will. That might be wishful thinking. But if it's a combination, then going to get one bigger name or one bigger name bullpen guy, and having Gone Slaves or a couple other guys in the minors up and with the big league team out of spring training next year, they're not stupid. They know, and I kind of give them a free pass this year, because you would have told me in April that we'd be at August 1st, almost August 1st, and they'd be around 500. I would have taken it 1,000 times out of 1,000. but not just it's the way they got there around 500. Obviously, they were better until last couple weeks, and they've been trending downward. But it was only a matter of time because you look at the numbers, and they were giving up a shit ton of runs, and the run differential was crap. Even when they were 5, 6, 7 games over. So I guess it doesn't totally shock me that the cliff seems to have been falling off.
And the ERA is what it is with this great defense behind them. And we've seen that. That's been the biggest difference from last year's 100-loss team to this year's 75-87 team. Of the defense is very good, and that has saved their ass many, many times. Zach Granite, the White, Ben Revere, bit of a struggle his first week. Since then, been good. So Schottenkirk, my guy, Buxton, going to be ready here in a couple days. What do they do with Zach Granite, who has played well enough to stay up? Do you expect them to make some moves here, or do you expect them to just say, Granite, you're down, and you'll be up in September?
Yeah, it's a good question because he's exceeded my expectations, what everybody's expectations. I don't know. I don't think it's going to affect the kid if they do send him back down for a month and have him come back in September. It might, and quite honestly, he doesn't deserve to be sent down. But that's in all reality, that's probably what's going to happen unless they make some other bigger move that we're not aware of in the next 24 hours. The roster, a little bit of a reshuffle. He's been good. I mean, he really can't complain about anything that he's done. But Buxton, in their eyes, in a lot of people's eyes, obviously, they're not. When Buxton's healthy, he's going to be playing again now. If there's any debate about that. But it's just kind of a crappy situation for him. We'll see what happens.
What do you do with Marcus? What do you do with Robbie Grossman, who is under contract for many a year? He's a cheap option. He can be a free agent in 2021, so he can be with the team for a long, long time. And he seems more like a DH type, 4th, 5th outfielder. Bad at the defense, good at getting on base. Where does Rob Grossman fit into this Buxton Granite clog in the outfield?
Well, I think it's maybe a little too small of a sample size to say we're going to take Granite over Grossman, and I'm not necessarily sure that's the question we're asking. I would agree with what David said. I think Buxton's going to get a spot back. I think Granite's going to go down. I think it's a hard situation for him right now because I think they like Grossman, and I think that makes it hard for Granite to cut his way into this picture. But at the same time, I mean, I just don't think the Kepler, Rosario, Buxton, right? That's the outfield of the future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Grossman's future is necessarily in the outfield anyway. I think he is, like you said, the DH type. And I think he's also, if you want to, he's easily replaced. If you find somebody who is better or, you want to fill that spot somewhere else, I don't think you have a problem pushing out Grossman. So I think, like you said, he's a cheap option. He does what he does well, and there's certainly things he's not good at, and you have to sort of acknowledge that as well. But I think at this point, you kind of ride with Grossman. He's been good enough offensively, I guess, to warrant him staying on the team.
One final baseball note before trivia. Mitchell plays Pierre today in a matter of hours. How surprised are you Mitchell is in the final? And what type of shot do they have? I would give them a 5% chance of winning the state title.
I would put it a little higher than that, but the odds are
10%.
I'm surprised they made it. Huh?
You're not surprised they made it?
I think the likelihood is higher than 5%. I would say 25%.
Okay.
Surprised Mitchell made it. I'm a little surprised that they took the tack they did. I can't really stop thinking about this pitch count rule that really has changed this entire Legion baseball postseason thing. So basically, if anybody throws, more than 75 pitches at any point in the tournament, they're done. And Mitchell, in the regional tournament, they kind of split guys up, saved guys for the games they really had to win. And in this tournament, they just threw everybody right away and threw them as long as they could. And obviously, to each their own. They've had varying levels of success with both. They haven't had a lot of offense, but the defense has been good enough. The pitching has gotten them over the hump, and now they're getting some of the offense now when it really counts. I'm surprised. I think you would probably agree with this, that the end of this season is more in agreement with how they played in the high school season, and that they've kind of shown that they're probably one of those top 5 teams in the state. So good for them. They've got a lot of good players, good kids. It's good to see them in the final, and I will certainly be hoping to see them pull it out. I think it's probably a little unlikely. They probably don't have enough pitching, but it's been an exciting tournament to watch, no doubt.
That biased media. Biased,
yes. Well, I would say that Pierre, on the other hand, hasn't won a Legion state title in 49 years, and there would be nothing wrong with them winning either. They would also be an upset, and the fact that Post 22 isn't even in the final is incredible. So,
Charlie, does this Pierre Mitchell matchup, does this continue the run of great championships? We have to wait and see what happens, of course. Have to wait and see what happens. They've played 6 times this season, and Pierre's beaten them 5.
Yeah.
Pierre's 5-1, so I have a hard time believing Mitchell's winning 2 games today, let alone 1. Could be just the extension of these great championships.
I don't know. It'd probably be like that '70s World Series between the Reds and the Red Sox with the Yastrzemski and the is it going to go fair or foul? And it didn't even matter because they lost the next game anyways.
That's right.
I will say that the game they played on Friday was pretty goddamn fun. The last week of Friday when it was 1,000 degrees out.
A lot of runs. Oh yes, the region.
10-9. I nearly died. I nearly died, and I just I didn't play in the game, but I nearly died anyway. So I can't imagine what it was like to actually play.
Well, the mini fridge would have saved your life if you would have had the mini fridge.
It's it could happen. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. I think it could happen. I'll mention it to folks. I wouldn't be surprised.
You brought the White Sox cooler with you. You would have been super cool.
That's right.
It is a black mini fridge. No reason why you couldn't get some white markers of sorts and put up a Sox logo on that thing. So I don't know what the weather's going to be like for this amateur tournament. Sounds like the weather's going to be fine, mid-upper 80s, normal summer weather. But I'll ask the powers that be, is this a good idea? And maybe that's something that happens not on Wednesday or Thursday, maybe likely more Friday and Saturdays when this gets in. And it would be for the week, and we'll see how that goes. But I think it'd be a big hit.
Well,
big hit.
I think the main thing is that you just bring the fridge and you put it there and nobody says anything because it's kind of everybody's press box. So I don't think anybody's going to say, "Hey, why'd you bring that in here?"
No, I would ask them, "Could I do this?" And they would say yes.
I don't think anybody would care. I think you could just do it and
put your shit.
Like, hey,
put your shit in there.
The fridge showed up. Yeah,
Put your shit.
Honestly, I think you could just bring it there and that would be it. Honestly, I don't think anybody would say anything. It's because it's a city-owned park. They're not going to pay any attention. So, yeah.
You still mentioning one final point on the Legion pitch count, probably the biggest change of the game since integration in 49.
That's right, yeah.
Or 47 if you don't agree with that. I don't know what else would be bigger than that. So, Schottenkirk
ironically also introduced a pitch count to Iowa high school baseball.
20 pitches
this year,
and you're done.
Which has been quite the hot topic of consternation amongst both coaches and fans, and I guess writers also.
It's 100.
Because I haven't covered any of the baseball games. I covered softball, but
it's 120. You can't go over 120 starting at bat in a game. What is it in Iowa? About the same?
I don't remember what it is. It's lower than 120. I know that. And then it's just like you can't pitch for so many days again after that. I don't remember what it was. But it used to be, like the playoffs to get to the state tournament that most teams, there were enough days off, like 3 days off between games, So basically, once the playoffs started, you would just pitch your best pitcher over and over and over and over and over again. Where now it's like, well, okay. For a lot of teams, it's like, no, our pitcher's playing and we're up by 7 runs. Let's get him out right now. So the next game he can still pitch 40 pitches or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know what the pitch count.
Some people love it. Some people hate it.
I don't know what the pitch count was of my guy McGuire Rasky the other day. I want to see him today.
The one thing that makes a difference is South Dakota has club baseball in the spring, not state sanctioned, but they've had a pitch count since the day they started, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So that's made a huge impact, or that's helped, I guess, with the transition in Legion baseball so that you don't have to really worry about it. Guys are fairly used to it, so that makes a difference too.
And it really doesn't come into play until the postseason.
Right.
Because pitch once a week, you're good for the week, whether you throw 100 pitches or 50 pitches, whatever, you're pitching once a week anyway. I would say Mitchell was the second best team in the high school season, despite not making the state tournament. I thought Roosevelt was the only team better than them. And in the summer season, I'd say, I didn't really see Rapid City, but they're always good. So I would put Mitchell maybe 4th best.
Well, they said on the broadcast last night that this was the earliest post-22 has gone out in team history. July 29th
really
was the earliest their season had ever ended, which I thought was crazy.
So what Pierre wins, God forbid Mitchell wins, then they go to the region. Where's this at?
It's somewhere in North Dakota. I've heard Fargo, but I think it's somewhere else in North Dakota. But yeah.
And that's next weekend?
Goes to the Central Plains Regional next week, yep.
How would that...
How will this affect North Dakota State recruiting?
They're going to put a...
That's right.
That's right, he says. How will it affect it? That is right. Greatly. It'll affect it greatly is the answer. How would this impact any possible radio schedules? God forbid Mitchell wins this thing, and say we have an amateur tournament that takes 2 goddamn weeks and starts on Wednesday. How could that potentially affect radio coverage, let alone newspaper coverage?
We were just talking about that last night.
What a nightmare! What a nightmare!
It's not something I really want to think about. I would say to our friend, the real deal, Ryan Deal, keep your bags packed, buddy, because you might be on the road again.
I'm sure Ari is always willing and able to travel. He's a quick, 1,500 miles west of there in Washington, so it's a quick trip for him. Schottenkirk, he's been on a rehab stint in Rochester here recently. Maybe you've seen the shows, maybe you haven't. Charlie, if he has not seen the shows, describe the trivia that we have had in Schottenkirk's absence.
Oh, man, you missed out on some of them. Basically, let's see if I can find, I think somewhere down here, I've got old scraps of old trivia questions. I should clean these up. I basically took old trivia questions people had done in styles and just mashed all of them together.
Like a Jeopardy style.
So it was essentially like Jeopardy, that you pick a category. I can't find it, but I don't know what they were. One was, is it a football coach or a politician coach quote? There was sports movie trivia.
There's music.
Music, yeah. Name the song that these lyrics are from.
The best part, or maybe one of the best parts, was how every question came down, every trivia thing came down to the final question. And whoever was trailing came back and won every time.
Holy shit.
It was me and Stacken. It was me and Stacken or me and Marcus. It was always one-on-one. Never had 3 or 4 folks.
And the final question, there's a final Jeopardy. It was, the category was quotes by Clint Eastwood in movies, so I kept that going. And then that effectively ended the Clint Eastwood stuff, so there won't be any more.
That's what somebody like Charlie would want us to think, though.
That's right.
That's true. You never know.
Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Question this
Could
week.
come with some surprise thing from the outlaw Josie Wales, or the good, the bad, and the ugly, or something.
Everybody here, we have 18 answers. We have 3 folks, so this works out well. I'll have 6 questions apiece. Schottenkirk will start us off. Then we'll go Marcus and Charlie. I have 18 names written down. Stars, Hall of Famers, All-Stars, good players of note in history of our lifetimes. 1 through 18, in your life. 1 through 18, the old number system is back. Pick me a number. I'll give you a name of a guy. You tell me, what was the last team that guy played for?
No, boy.
Is this just baseball, or is this any
This
sport?
is all sports. If these guys were fucking around with the balls, they're on my list.
The final team of their career, in their final team that they played for.
And if I, like, Starberry ain't on the list here, so don't say fucking the Cheyenne Sharks here, okay? Shanghai Sharks. So don't be going there. These are legitimate teams and legitimate players. So St. Paul Saints.
Only Big Four sports.
Yeah. Strawberry and the St. Paul Saints ain't gonna happen.
He said balls. So that means no pucks.
No fucking pucks.
Let's start with number 1.
Manny Ramirez. Bounced around at the end like a son of a bitch. I think he's currently in Japan or China or Korea.
Oh, God. It's going to kill me. I know the Dodgers isn't right, but I'll say the Dodgers.
The Tampa Bay Rays. He ended up with the Rays.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
These some are easier, some are difficult. Some are easy, some are difficult.
Disrespectful by Manny Ramirez.
I don't know if this is what you were looking for with this question, Crins, but you asked that, and I was like, duh, it's the Red Sox. And I was like, oh, no, wait, it was the Dodgers. And then I was like, oh, no, wait, I know he played for something
Yes.
after that, too.
He was in Oakland, wasn't he?
Yes. I think he was with the White Sox, too. So these are guys that maybe ended their career on a whimper.
This could be tough. This could be tough stuff.
Could be a pitcher's duel. You're on a pitch count. You each have 6 of them. Mitchell papers up.
I will take number 9.
Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux.
Maddox. Played for some teams. What was the last one?
This probably isn't right. I'm going to say Chicago Cubs.
It was the Dodgers. He last played with the Dodgers. Went to the Padres 4 times.
Oh, man. I knew it was somebody blue.
There we go. Lots of blue teams, Charlie. You're up.
I will take lucky number 7.
Randall Cunningham.
Let's see. I know after the Vikings, he went to the Seahawks, and he played in the Pro Bowl, and they made a big deal that he was older than Coach Bill Cowher at the time.
Randall Cunningham.
Unless I'm getting him mixed up with somebody else. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm going to stick with the Seattle Seahawks.
Baltimore Ravens.
I kind of remember that now.
We're O's across the board. Good guesses?
So are we? So just so I have this clarified, breaking news, by the way: Xavier Rhodes re-signed $78 million over 6 years through 20.
They're just trying to keep their jobs, Marcus. They're just trying to keep their jobs by signing their best players, which deserve lots of money to large contracts.
$41 million guaranteed. So the question I have here is: are we counting guys that are just on the roster, or do they have to have played?
You got to play a game. You got to play a game.
Okay. And I like Manny Ramirez would be the example I would use. I don't remember.
Yeah, because he was with he was in the minors with the Cubs. He was like a player coach with the Cubs, wasn't he?
The Cubs,
yeah. You got to appear in a major league game, NFL game. You got to play. You can't be like
that's good.
Jerry Rice isn't on the list. I think he finished up with like Denver, wasn't it? He was like in training camp with Denver.
Who was that?
Jerry Rice, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he actually ever played for Denver. So, playing in games.
Okay. All right.
Schottenkirk.
Number 2.
Johnny Unitas.
Jesus Christ.
Who was it?
Johnny
Johnny Unitas.
Unitas.
Okay. All right.
Why can I not think of anywhere else other than where he started his career? No. I have no idea. I'll say the Baltimore Colts. I know that's wrong.
The Chargers.
Yeah, that was my guess. Yeah,
That was gettable. Gettable. Marcus.
that was gettable.
It's all full disclosure. Rashard Lewis not on this list. Bobby Bonilla not on this list. Okay.
Probably for the best.
Probably for the best.
I'll
Yes.
take number 5. Orlando Magic legend.
Ugh.
Lewis.
Because we all know the last team that Bobby Bonilla played for was getting paid well after you're done with your career team
That's right.
because of that sweet contract.
That's true.
America's last team he
That's right.
played for. America. Pat Tillman. America. If Pat Tillman's on this list, the answer is America. Shaquille
Number
O'Neal.
5. Did I say number 5?
Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq O'Neal.
God damn it.
Shaq O'Neal.
Don't fuck this up.
I feel like this question's a perfect combination of it's just tough enough to where you don't know and you have to think, and you can also give a reasonable good guess.
Don't
Just
fuck this up.
For clarification, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but for basketball especially, there aren't any where the final answer is Team USA in the Olympics.
Well, we'll have to get there in a bit. No, there's not. Obviously, as you know, I hate America, so no. Anything
I'm
Olympic
gonna get
related.
this wrong. There's almost no doubt of that.
I
I'm
feel,
going to say the Cleveland
I
Cavaliers.
feel like the other two folks know it. David knows it. Charlie, what?
Was it not Cleveland?
Are we finalizing Traxler's Cleveland Cavaliers guess?
We're finalizing it.
I know it's either the Cavaliers. I think it's either the Cavaliers or the Celtics. I just don't remember which one.
We'll give it
That's
Celtics.
pretty sure it's Boston.
There we go. Charlie, can somebody break up the no-hitter?
I will take unlucky number 13 and try to be unlucky enough to get this right.
Babe Ruth?
I believe it's the Atlanta Braves.
Say it again.
Okay, it's the Braves. I guess I don't know if they were in Atlanta at that point in time or not. Or is that, or did I go the wrong? Should I pick the city of Atlanta?
Final answer.
I'm taking the Braves.
Panel, how do we rule this?
I would rule against that because he said Atlanta, and I don't think they moved to Atlanta until like the 60s.
Schottenkirk, how do we rule this? It is the Braves. It is the Boston
yeah,
Braves.
I'm in a giving mood. I think he had the right train of thought, but I would give it to him. But that's just me being nice.
I just know that there's the headline from like the 1930s that says like Ruth homers 3 times as Braves win, and they were like the final 3 home runs of his career.
We'll put this trivia question under protest.
Half a point.
We'll play the rest of this game under protest. We'll come back to this at the end.
This is the official score, considering either a hit or an error here.
That's right.
There's no
We'll see. If he doesn't
Trying
give
to
up
break
any
it
more
up.
hits, if he doesn't give up any more hits, it was an error. If he gives up a couple more hits, I'll call it a hit. So, Charlie's score right now to be determined. I can see. Well, right now I'll make a ruling. Right now, half credit. Half credit.
Yeah, you can give it to him. I don't care.
Half credit. So if there is a tie, Charlie wins tie, possibly. Schottenkirk.
14.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Jesus Christ.
This is a mess. This is a mess.
Oh, boy.
My favorite player. They got the Hall of
For a
Fame.
lot of these, I keep thinking I'm just going to yell out a smart-ass answer and pick their original team. And then I'm like, well, I don't know. They may be signed for like 2 days for like 1 game. So I shouldn't say anything at all.
We should have done a poll. Who's in the roughest shape among all these Hall of Famers walking out right now? Who's in the roughest shape?
God.
Anybody's ballgame.
I'm going to go with Charlie's White Sox. I know that's not right.
Mariners, right?
Seattle Mariners. He finished up with the Mariners, fell asleep in the clubhouse, and said, all right, guys, I'm done. I'm taking a nap at home. Marcus to get on the board.
Just for fun, if I remember right, the last good thing that Ken Griffey Jr. did for the White Sox was make a throw from center field to get a Twins player out of home plate in 2008.
That's right. Yeah.
I think it was Kadire, I want to say.
That hit the top of the pitcher's mound, if I remember right, and could have bounced any number of ways, but happened to go just right.
1-0 playoff game. Nick Blackburn pitched the game of his life. He did good. That was number 14.
Okay. I've been marking them off here, so I will take number 3.
Warren Moon.
Shit.
Noted black quarterback, Warren Moon. Noted black.
Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you.
His skin color was dark.
Christ.
Come on, Hank Aaron, get up those steps. Is this ADA accessible? I don't think this stage is ADA accessible. Wheel these bastards up. Wheel these bastards up these fucking ramps.
How old is he? Is 88?
He's got to be, I don't think he's 88. I think Willie Mays is 85. He's pushing it. Hank Aaron, I presume, 85, solid.
Okay, I'm going to say the Seattle Seahawks.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
Also, side note, I just realized right now I got Randall Cunningham
Yes, you
and
did.
Warren Moon mixed up.
Yes, you did.
Both black quarterbacks that played for the Vikings when I was a kid.
When you said Seattle, I thought, that triggered me. Charlie.
I thought he might have gone back.
Charlie with that half-point lead, sticking strong. It's conditions are worsening here at Turnberry this afternoon. So
I'll take number 8.
Eddie George. Ed George.
Oh man, I don't remember him playing for anybody except the Titans.
What number was that?
Number
8.
8.
Okay.
Maybe went
I
back.
just thought of this, and it's not the case, and it's too late to do it, but it would have been fun if they were all guys who the number you picked was the actual number they were.
That would have been fun.
Let's see. I don't remember him playing anywhere other than for the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans franchise. And now I'm thinking that maybe it's a trick and he only played there his entire career. And I'm thinking way too hard about this and I'm going to completely fool myself. And by the end of this rambling on, I'm going to be like, I don't know. It's got to be the USC Trojans. That's the answer. I'm like, no, that's not even remotely accurate. Let's see. I'm going to guess that he went somewhere that was a bad team that paid him a lot of money at the end of his career. I don't think it was the Cardinals because that's where Edgar and James went. Let's say, I don't know, who would have been bad then? Let's say he played for 4 games for the Cleveland Browns. That's my final answer.
How about them Cowboys?
It was the Cowboys? I don't remember him with Dallas at all.
Dallas Cowboys. David Schottenkirk.
But he had really fallen off. Like running backs fall off a cliff anyways, and my recollection is his was even more drastic than most of them.
My guess would have been like St. Louis for some reason, and that doesn't make any sense either. So there's no way I would have gotten the Cowboys.
Schottenkirk.
I would like to point out I'm 3 for 3 getting the guys second to last team, but that's not the trivia question, so I'm kind of fucked.
What's that?
So I'm 3 for 3 getting the guys I've got. I've got their second to last team correct every time. Not yet. Not the last team though. So we're batting 0. I'll go 17.
Deion Sanders.
Fucking Christ.
Good night.
I think I might know this one. Which is the unfortunate thing, is the ones I think I know are not the ones I
If
pick.
this was a group project, you'd probably get half of them by now.
Yeah, that's right.
Again, I just
What
think
happened?
it's all these
Actually, no.
guys.
I take it back. I don't know Deion Sanders, and this is, if I'm thinking the way Chris is thinking, the best question of all.
I did not think of that, but it would have been good. Yeah.
So it's not the baseball team.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Oh, it is a football team.
boy.
It is a football team.
Okay, never mind then. That's what I was thinking. Is there was a
Could have
football
been.
team that maybe I'm wrong, but I
It
thought he
could have
played for last, and then I remembered something.
Big
From,
four.
my youth when I watched SportsCenter every day, where it was like, wait, I remember a coach talking about baseball too. Maybe it was a baseball team he played for last.
All these names, I just think of these guys in their prime with whatever team they're on, and I can't think where they fucking finished their career. But, it's not Dallas, but I'll say Dallas.
Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. Yeah, I would have never guessed this. But
Charlie in the clubhouse now with his half point with the lead halfway through here, looking pretty good. Marcus.
Number 15.
Roger Clemens. Could be any team.
Could be any team. That's right.
Does Wild Oak know
I'm
you?
just gonna say
Does Wild Oak know you stole their pencils?
they know.
No.
They know. It is a Wild Oak. Oh, it is a Wild Oak pencil too.
That's right.
It's. I'm just gonna say the Yankees.
It is the Yankees.
Good.
The Yankees
I thought-
went to Houston, ended up with the Yankees again.
Okay, he did play for Houston. I thought he did. So.
Yep.
All right.
Lariano kicked his ass in 06. Remember that game? Charlie, first time trailing. How will you respond?
Probably not well. Drexler's got a commanding lead right now. I'll take number 11.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
And again, I don't remember him playing anywhere other than with the Houston Rockets.
I think I remember one other place.
Let's see.
Robin Yout's got some head of hair. I got to give him that. I got to give him that.
I'm assuming he did not play his whole career with Houston. And I know around that point there were a whole bunch of guys that went to the Trailblazers. I'm not real confident that he played there, but I will guess the Portland Trailblazers.
Toronto Raptors.
He was a Raptor for a year.
Wow.
Random. Schottenkirk D. What do you got?
Which one did Charlie pick again?
11.
11.
what numbers do we have left?
4.
4, 10, 16, 6, 12, 18.
Frank Robinson, noted black, on the stage.
Let's go with number 10.
John Smoltz. John Smoltz. Smoltz.
How about the Cubbies?
Cardinals.
Son of a bitch.
Cardinals. Marcus.
That might have been the one where you could have gotten me to say the Braves.
I never
Like,
considered putting one in here where they, like they finishes with the same team. I never.
Well, you got the Mariners.
Oh yeah, I guess that was the only one. Yeah. Yet.
Number 4.
Penny Hardaway.
I got no
Shaolin Monk.
Who's to say he's not still playing?
Who's to say?
He just signed a $8 million contract this offseason.
Does
I'm
real
gonna say
quick? This is late in the game, but just for clarification, does the Ice Cube 3-on-3 basketball team?
If you can name a team, I'll give it to you.
I forget what the team's names are, but Phoenix Suns is my guess.
NFL Europe doesn't count. Miami Heat. And he lived with Shaq for a year.
Did he play for the Suns?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's good.
If I said what was their second team they played for, maybe we'd have more.
We'd
Charlotte.
be batting about 800.
Anybody's game here? Going into the final round here, we got 4 left.
I'll take number 18.
Anyone's game.
Scottie Pippen.
Yikes.
Well, he played for the Bulls.
Oh.
I know he played for the Portland Trailblazers when they were on there. We're good and we're going to win the NBA title and never even made the finals, if I remember right.
Lake Show, baby.
Now I'm thinking maybe some of these basketball players from like almost 20 years ago I'm getting mixed up where they played for at the end of their careers, and I'm thinking maybe that he played for the Rockets at some point in time.
No boy.
Joe Morgan's coming up here. What has happened to Joe Morgan? Because the last time I saw him, he could barely walk.
He's old.
Well, how does he went from like normal to just the shits, like bam. Like these are all old Bobby Cox can still get around. Let's see
Sometimes life sucks.
Let's see what Joe Morgan. Let's see what his movement is here.
He played 20 years on the AstroTurf in Cincinnati.
Yeah, he's just standing there. He can't move. He's just standing there. Well, move a little bit.
Is he smiling or is he frowning?
No,
Maybe he's dead. He might be dead.
Ironically, he looks a lot like Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder.
Honestly,
Wonder had short hair right now.
Joe Morgan,
because he's got such big, thick glasses on, and he just kind of like he looks like sort of more content than happy, but not like I don't know. It's tough to explain. Just like the look of like, yep, I'm here. How you folks doing?
I think he was using two canes.
Joe Morgan wasn't just a Hall of Fame second baseman. He was also a blind musician who sold platinum records 8 times.
Also a hell of a broadcaster for a blind man. So there you go. And here comes the corpse of Bud Selig. Look at him go. Yep.
Look at him go.
All right,
thanks for ruining the game, Bud.
I feel like the answer to this might be the Trailblazers. I don't know if you ever even played for the Rockets, so I'm probably screwing myself over, but I'm going to say the Houston Rockets.
You mentioned all 3 teams he played for in his career. He ended with the Bulls.
Son of a bitch. Fuck you, Scottie Pippen.
David Schottenkirk with the chance to, at the very least, tie with the right answer.
What numbers do we have left?
6.
6, 12, and 16.
That's right.
12.
Patrick Ewing. Showtime, folks. It's Patrick. Showtime, Patrick.
Oh, bitch.
Showtime, Patrick.
The Georgetown Hoyas.
Yeah. He's back.
He's going to be playing this fall. Yeah.
He's back on the recruiting trail. That's going to be a fucking disaster.
He sneaks the recruits in with his nose.
Literally, I have no idea. And I'm going to say the team that he's most famous for again, just hoping that one of these times I'll get it right. I'll say the Knicks.
Orlando.
Fuck, you knew that.
He spent time with the Sonics, and he spent a year with the Magic.
Yeah, I knew.
What about the Charlotte Bobcats?
Close. Marcus.
Close.
You get this, you win. If not, you give Hildebrand a chance to win, and by recent memories, Charlie's probably going to win if you get it wrong. So
that means he wins.
The walk-off win on the final answer.
Could be.
It would continue our run of great trivia question endings.
As it would.
We had a historic run here. I will say
Vince McMahon would be impressed with the way we finish things.
That's right. Much better.
I will say number 16.
Grant Hill.
I actually know this one, too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is hard.
Say Duke.
I feel like the answer.
Team USA.
Orlando Magic. I'm saying it.
Sean Kirk.
The Los Angeles Clippers.
He ended as a Clipper.
Oh, I would have. My other option was the Detroit Pistons, and I didn't think that was right either.
Charlie Hildebrand, you
Like
have.
every former great, their goal is to end their career playing for the Clippers.
That's right.
And stunningly enough, that was only like 3 years ago, too. I think he's like 50, but he's not.
Charlie, you have number 6 left. If you get this, you win based on your half-point Braves answer.
Sounds good. What if I get another one, though, where I only get a half point somehow?
It's a tie. It's a tie. Though, Crins will have to come up with a sudden death.
Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, shit. Let's see. He played for the Expos.
Exposed.
He played for the Red Sox. He went to the Mets. Trying to remember if I can think of anywhere he went after the Mets.
It's a pretty good one. I just looked it up.
Pretty sure he went somewhere after that. And I might be getting old Hall of Fame players confused again. Let's go with the Marlins.
Oh,
The Phillies.
I don't even remember playing for the Phillies.
Did he play for the? He played for the Dodgers, right?
No, early.
Oh,
His brother did.
I thought late. His brother. I was thinking of Ramon.
Get those Martinez boys mixed up. How many would you have gotten if you could pick any of them? How many did you get? Just based on.
Like 4.
I got half. If I would have picked the right ones, I think I could have got. I would have gotten more than half, but I think only like 3 or 4. I would not have gotten like.
You pick, what were the you picked seemingly a couple of the tougher ones in which like Eddie George and
Eddie George.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
I kind of have a feeling both those guys, if they would have got Johnny Unitas, they both probably would have got that one right that I missed.
I did not know the Johnny Unitas one.
Okay, well, Marcus would have got it right, I think.
Johnny Unitas, the Chargers.
Oh, there we go. Marcus wins 1-0.
1 to a half to 0.
We are probably next week, I believe, will be our last show without the football. I believe 2 shows from now we'll do half of our football preview. We have that to look forward to.
Get ready. Get up.
Are we ready for that?
I will say 2 weeks from now, not likely I'll make the show.
Here we go.
Class B Amateur State Championship game.
So if Traxler will not be here, I would assume we're probably not doing the Big Ten in 2 weeks then.
There we go. We could do that.
I will file some thoughts ahead of time if I remember. So.
File a grievance with the union.
The union, they're screwing us.
His succinct thoughts are going to be in Minnesota Rose Bowl.
This I will say.
Roll the boat all the way to Pasadena.
I say this every year about the Gophers, and it's especially true this year. They will finish anywhere between 9-3 or 10-2 and 5-7 in this bowl. I mean, it's a total crapshoot. I don't know how you can have an estimate on roll the boat guy. So this is going to be tough.
Pretty sure the over-under is 7 or 7.5. So.
Seems about right. Seems it'll be right in that area.
I must have missed the news on Jerry Kill going to Rutgers. Or I forgot
it.
It
was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Who was he with last year doing some bullshit?
He was with Kansas State for a while.
That's right.
Like an assistant AD.
What do you make of him? You got Urban Meyer with his bullshit leaving Florida. You got this guy doing this shit. I find it all a bunch of shit. I don't believe any of it.
Well, it's just dumb that he blames Minnesota for not, like they were supposed to hold the job open for him, for as long as he needed. And it's clear this problem is not going away. He may say he's got it under control, but, half of it is the stress. And I don't think being an offensive coordinator is probably a great thing for somebody who has a history of seizures.
Well,
either.
he is going,
especially the offensive coordinator at Rutgers.
Exactly.
Well,
he is score 60 points the whole season.
He is going to an FCS school, so that helps.
Yeah, that's right. And I just thought some of the shots he took at Minnesota's administration, which believe me, they've deserved plenty of criticism in the last 5 years. But just the fact that the Gophers gave him a chance to basically have the role he had at Kansas State, where he could kind of hover over the football program, and he didn't want it. And that's just him being a big baby, as far as I'm concerned. So, he's the only person to blame, even though he's willing to point fingers at a lot of other people.
But he'll turn from Jerry Keel. Look at this guy go.
That's right.
Charlie Hildebrand, what's any podcasts? You got the Game of Thrones podcast. How's that going?
It's good. We'll have another one that'll be up on Monday after tonight's episode through the Sioux City Journal. So that'll be fun. As of now, I don't have any coffee breaks coming out in the foreseeable future. We will be doing the college football one, running up the score again, but that won't be until, I think, the second to last week or the last week of August is when it'll be some point then. So it's still a ways away.
I saw that one of your colleagues wrote a coffee break article about Popeyes, and I was a little discouraged that you didn't write the Popeyes the article about Popeyes, because apparently you've got a couple coming to Sioux City.
There's two of them, allegedly. One of them closer to being done on the east side of town, and then one that I don't know when it'll be done longer from now in, like, downtown Hamilton Boulevard, that I would imagine for at least the first month or so that they're open will be just packed.
The last time I had my hot take on Popeyes, Charlie for the first time in his life, or in my life, threatened to hurt me physically.
Wow.
I'll say it again, Popeyes is overrated.
Oh, you're an asshole. You're an asshole.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about I go with
I
Shot?
really like Popeyes, especially their biscuits.
I'll go with Schottenkirk on this one. Haven't had a lot. Maybe we've had it twice.
I mean, it's good, but it's not the cat's meow as a lot of people think it is.
Compare it to an NBA player. Jason Terry.
Current there.
Who?
So, like, current there, you want all time?
Whenever. Whoever. Better or worse than Mike Miller?
Much better.
Much better.
I will say that Popeyes is like in his prime, like Tracy McGrady. Like when everything's going, it's pretty freaking good. And I don't think I've ever had I haven't had a bad experience there, but I could see how people maybe would have a bad experience. You get a couple lousy pieces of chicken, and that maybe would change things.
One of the positive things with Popeyes also is a lot of times like their customer service isn't known for being great, and I know I said positive, that might sound weird, but the way it works is there's times you're like, oh, I want 4-piece chicken strip thing. And they're like, all right, here you go, and you're like, oh, this actually has 7 chicken strips in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, wait, I'm not going to complain. Thank you.
I like to get the 5-piece chicken strips with the black and ranch sauce, and I've never had less than 5 chicken strips.
Black and ranch? The ranch sauce is black?
Yes, it's not black. It's got, I don't know what you would say is in it.
What's in it to make it blacker?
I'm sure there's peppers or something in there, and it's got a little bit more bite. It's terrific.
God damn, look at that.
I like the Tracy McGrady comparison. If I was going to compare, not a player, but a team, I would say Popeyes is like what would it have been? Like the 06 Miami Heat team that won the title, or like when they're on, there's just not much you can do, but there's times where things don't click and they fall behind 0-2 to the Dallas Mavericks.
David, did you come up with a guy?
Yeah, I did. I was leaning towards McGrady. I was kind of coming with the
Good.
explanation, but I'll go Steve Francis because when it was good, it was really good. When it falls off the cliff, it just crashes and burns. So.
Damn.
Hating hard.
Speaking of that, a simple Google search of Steve Francis is quite entertaining.
Not great. Does he look better or worse than Sammy Sosa?
Worse. Not quite as good.
Worse than Sosa. Worse than
That's not good. Not good.
fucking Sosa.
Neapolitan Sammy.
Not great. Marcus, amateur baseball tournament. Where do you put that among your favorite things?
It's right up there. I would say you basically can consume as much baseball as you want. It's literally 3 blocks from my house, so I can't complain about that. It's fun. You get a lot of weird characters. The rules are weird as far as who's on the rosters and that sort of thing.
I hate it.
And it's stupid. These games you could have an hour and 45-minute 9-inning game, or you could have a 4-hour 15-inning game. They use wood bats. That's kind of fun. If you're not working, like I sometimes am, you can drink beer. So yeah, what a great event.
Who does Alexandria beat in the final?
Alexandria, as it happens, and for those who don't know, there's 7 districts. The district champions are basically assured that they don't have to play each other in the first round, and you can't have 2 teams from the same district play in the first round. But other than that, they basically draw it out of a hat. And Alexandria, not necessarily blessed with an easy route to the championship. They play Flandreau, the same team they played last year in the first round. This year, that was a 6-3 game last year. They'll probably play Platt, who they've already played twice this year as a elite team. They'll probably play Madison, who's played pretty well, and it's likely that they'll play Crofton, Del Rapids Mudcats, Parkston in the semifinals. So they'll face a bunch of good teams. It's just a matter of what kind of outcome they have. Much like last year, Winter Cologne has played them close twice. It's a matter of if Winter Cologne can get to the final. So I would expect one of the area teams, if not 2, in the final game, Final Four, and that's usually good for people around here. Helps sell papers, helps people tune in on the radio. So
They should move this tournament to Yankton.
we were talking about that last night, and we don't necessarily agree with that. So
I don't think I did a Plankinton game yet. I like to do a Plankinton game.
the bankers. I would say that the 2 powerhouse teams are the Parkston Mudcats and Alexandria Angels. They have the most uniforms. I think Parkston has probably like 5 uniforms at this point, and Alexandria's probably got 3 or 4 or 5. But Plankinton's got 3. Their colors are white, gold, and purple, and they have a jersey of each color, and they're all terrific. So that's fun. I think Plankinton's got a gray jersey too, but not as good as the other 3. So yeah, bankers, and they play Larchwood in the first round. That should be a fun first round game. So
Just for fun, quick baseball note on the Sioux City Explorers, and don't
The
stop
X's.
believing because you never know what can happen. On Thursday, they were playing the St. Paul Saints, and while the Saints were batting and the X's were pitching, 3 separate times in the game, the X's, with the bases loaded, hit a batter to walk in a run, and they still ended up winning the game. So, no matter how bad things get, you can score runs.
that does call to mention the most memorable
There you go.
amateur baseball game I've ever seen last year. 4 corners in Tabor, 4 consecutive hit by pitches at the end of the game, as 4 corners rallied out of nowhere to win the game. 4 straight.
They were down by 3?
They were down by 3. They had the bases loaded. There's a pitching change in between those, and won the game.
How many
It was
people were there?
incredible.
Over under 20 people.
There were more than 20 people there.
50.
But you had to basically be a hardcore fan of one of the 2 teams, or you had to be waiting to clean up the field, or you had to be me. And there were probably like 150 people. It was at like 1 o'clock on a Friday.
So, they were down 3, and it cut it.
They were down 3 and loaded the
They were
bases.
down 3, and the bases were loaded.
Yep.
And then there were 4 straight
Hits.
hit batters to
Hits.
end up winning. So, at how many consecutive hit batters where you're like, oh no, this might just keep happening and everyone's going to get hit.
Well, I was standing next to a Tabor fan, and after the third one, that tied the game. They're like, "You got to be kidding me!" And they're like visually repulsed by the idea of how the game was unfolding. And I think they made a pitching change then, or maybe made it before that guy. But then, 2 pitches later, the guy gets plunked, and they lost their minds. And it was hard for anybody not to believe it. If I find it tonight, I will clip it like Crins does, and I'll share it with you, because it was basically insane. It is on YouTube, though.
Just for fun, on that weird Thursday Explorers game, they were up 9-5 going into the bottom of the ninth. The first 2 batters they saw, first pitch home run, so just like that, from 9-5 to 9-7. And as I'm sure Marcus is well aware, is you're like, oh my God, game, please don't go to extra innings. We want this to get done so we can hurry up and get it in the paper and be done with it. But then they got 3 straight guys out, so I was very happy about that.
The amateur baseball gods have blessed us with moving up the start times of these night games from 6 to 5:30. So that's going to help in the deadline category, because we're dealing with a much earlier deadline this year, and I'm very nervous about it. So
it's a leap year.
It is a leap year, thank God.
How much better would Trevor Vermillion be with the Twins than Ryan Presley has been?
Oh shit, he'd be good. I mean, he'd get hit, but he'd be good.
Why is Trevor Vermillion not with the team worth a shit?
I don't know. You ask this every year, and I don't have a good answer for it. Honestly, I don't think he was that interested in playing professionally.
I think he had a tryout with the Twins. I don't know what happened. He's the best pitcher in the state, and he's becoming one of the greatest of all time.
In amateur baseball, yes. He's
absolutely. David Drottenkirk. Got some fighting notes. Your thoughts on fights last night? Good, bad, or otherwise? Starting the main event. Jones-Cormier. Cormier looked pretty good until he got knocked out.
Yeah, he did look pretty good. I had it 1-1. It was very, very entertaining and kind of everything that we were hoping for. And then Cormier kind of ducked and went with the left with the head, and Jones picked up his leg, and that's all she wrote. I don't think there's anybody can debate anymore that Jon Jones is probably the best, the most gifted fighter in the history of the UFC and MMA in general. It was good. Good to see him get back in there, and I was especially pleased to hear him after the fight to kind of put bygones in the past, or try to, and compliment Cormier on the guy that he is, the husband that he is, the father that he is, because it got quite personal and quite sketchy. Cormier still doesn't like him, which I don't think he ever will, but it was a good end to that saga for those two. The rest of the night was pretty good. Cyborg picked her spots and finally finished. Once her face in the third, I thought it was going to come earlier. She looked pretty good. Rumor is that your gal, Holly Holm, might next for her, which would be something. Yeah,
she'll get fucking killed. Fucking killed.
That might be the fight, though, from the sounds of it. Woodley and Maya kind of was a dud, and unfortunately a dud. Woodley did what he had to do to win, but it's not anything that the fans really.
Here's the deal. Woodley's the Kansas City Royals of MMA fighters these past couple fights. Nobody likes him.
That's pretty fair. Nobody likes him, and especially not his boss, which is a bad spot to be. You're the champion of the world, but your boss absolutely ripped you a new asshole last at the press conference. So that's always good.
Would you say the Jones-Cormier rivalry is similar to you and Stacken? There's a lot of hatred there, and we'll mend fences one day.
Yeah, I've made a couple motions to mend fences.
Maybe you'd be more on the Jones side of the cocaine use and whatnot, but what say you? Stacking the family, man, with the kids and all. What say you?
Right. Stacking more the wrestler type, me, kind of the flashy knockout artist. Yeah, I think we could go that way.
Sure. And there was Cerrone and good fight.
Yeah.
Good fight.
Yeah, Lawler and Cowboy had a pretty good fight. And, I mean, supposedly, Lawler might be in line for a title shot, which is, I guess, okay. But we'll see.
I think Lesnar and Jones happens on December 30th. What say you?
I don't think it happens until next year, but I think it happens.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Because Brock's got to clear up some things with USADA first.
I think he's back in it. I don't know if anybody can. I read a tweet. I don't know if it's true, but it said if he is back. People are saying. Trump said today in a tweet that if Lesnar did get him back to the system a couple weeks ago, which is rumors is he may have, he would be ready by December 30th. And usually they try and put on a big card at the end of the year. That would be the next fight for Jones. That'd be interesting. That heavyweight.
May I propose an idea?
Yes.
They fight on the 30th. Jones wins. Brock counters. Rematch.
WrestleMania.
Steel cage. Brock wins, and then they have the rubber match in, I don't know.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, July or August.
Or July 4th.
Maybe they don't do either. Maybe they do. Maybe they do boxing, or they do taekwondo, or maybe they just do like fencing. I don't know, something completely different.
I'm very intrigued by John Jones Brock Lesnar fight. I am very intrigued by this.
Let me put this. There is a lot of there's name there, and there is some intrigue in my eyes too. But at the same time, I for whatever reason when John said that and whatever, I wouldn't be stunned. I'd be really surprised if Brock actually beat him.
If you can get him down, he'll win. It's every Brock Lesnar fight you've ever seen is like every fucking wrestling match he's had in the past 5 fucking years has been the same. If he gets you down, he's gonna win. If not, well, then we'll see. So I hope it happens.
Jones did a good enough job with DC, not letting him take him down. So.
Yeah. Be very, very intrigued to see.
The echo's back.
Oh my heavens, we almost got through a whole fucking show without the echo. Now.
And let me put this out there too. I think there would be a decent chance that John could actually knock him out. That's just my take. With the reach advantage and the strength that John does have, and he'll be bigger than he ever has been in any fight before. I think he could catch him.
I want to see 275-pound Lesnar against, I don't know what Jones would weigh. 220, 230, I have no idea.
Nah, if he does it right, John could probably get up to 240 pretty healthily.
I'd be interested to see what he does.
I like the idea of those two fighting in late December, and we can do the Sioux Falls.
Oh my heavens!
And then go to Buffalo Wild Wings and see this. And hopefully that one weird girl's behind us again, and is like, why they start what? She only got hit in the face 12 times. That's not that many.
Do we have dates?
She was going to come back. They just didn't give her a chance.
What's the Mike Miller Classic looking like here, Marcus?
No schedule yet for the Mike Miller Classic.
What are we doing? We're in August.
Should come out.
I've been looking every day for the last 3, so God damn it, let's go.
Yeah, it's usually about this time of year. Usually in the amateur tournament that it comes out, so I'd expect it to be out soon.
Good. Final note: state of the WWE. David Schottenkirk. Good, bad.
For business-wise, for them, it's probably really good in a worldwide sense. But for we talked about earlier this week, for the long-time American fans, it's pretty shitty. Not gonna lie, not gonna hold any punches. It's not. I mean, there's been ups and downs, but more recently, the last couple of years, there's been more trends of down. They're not. I mean, business-wise, they're not focusing on the guys that have been in it. The American fan, it's a worldwide brand, and they're focusing on new markets. They're focusing on the guys that are appealing to other fan bases other than me and you that have been fans for 20 plus years. And it's fine, and I'm still watching quite a bit, but there's going to come a point, if it doesn't turn at least a little bit in the other direction, that I might finally consider giving most of it up.
Cold turkey, folks. There you go. Charlie Hildebrand, Marcus Traxler, David Schottenkirk. Anything else?
I just want to say that NBCSN has had a 2-hour pre-race show for the race at Pocono today.
Seems a bit excessive.
I have no explanation on why you do that. So
You gotta break down a tricky triangle somehow.
Well, I understand that, but can't that be done in an hour or 30
Spend about
minutes?
40 minutes on each turn. Let's look at the second turn. How's that different than the first turn? Let's compare the first and the second turns to the third turn, shall we? Very intrigued. Deadline for baseball, the trades. You got to get them in by tomorrow, so get that done if you're not getting your trades done.
They don't do baseball business on Sundays, folks. Business is closed.
Get it done. Get it done today or tomorrow. So there. I'll see you next week. 227. Charlie Hildebrand, Marcus, David Schottenkirk, and we'll see how Stacking did with those birthing classes. So we get that to look forward to next week inside the Sports Lounge.